What's going on? How everybody doing? I'm well. I'm back at practice today, so I'm thankful.
Nobody predicted this. Not the analysts, not the fans, and certainly not the Cleveland Browns' own coaching staff. A single throw in training camp just ignited a firestorm, and it came from the last arm anyone expected. Shedeur Sanders wasn't just fighting for reps. He was fighting to escape a tomb of doubt. Critics labeled him damaged goods. Coaches buried him behind veterans. Even his legendary father's shadow loomed like a curse. But in 3.7 seconds of pure chaos, Sanders didn't just silence the noise, he weaponized it.
Everybody, it's Tony Grossi back with your Cleveland Browns training camp report. Day 10, we are presented by Maloney and Novotny. Well, day 10 was the last day of open practices for the fans. They saw the return of Shedeur Sanders after missing one day with a sore arm, and Shedeur treated them to the play of the day. They were in a field goal situation period.
And what happened next? A hardened Browns insider dropped a bombshell that's still echoing through the NFL. But the real shockwave came from over 1,200 miles away, where a former teammate's desperate gamble might have just handed Sanders the keys to Cleveland's future. For weeks, Shedeur Sanders drifted through Browns camp like a ghost. Limited snaps, arm soreness whispers, a quarterback room stacked with names like Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco and Steelers transplant Kenny Pickett. The narrative wrote itself, just another roster filler. Coaches funneled reps to proven commodities. Media scribes chronicled his lingering stiffness, like an epitaph. When Sanders missed day 9 entirely, the obituaries drafted themselves. Fragile, not NFL ready, riding his dad's coattails. The truth, Sanders was stewing, studying coverages in film dungeons, refining footwork at dawn, waiting for one shot to rip the script apart.
Shedeur faced a 3rd and 17 situation to set up a field goal. 3rd and 17, man, he fired the ball over the middle to Luke Florio, who was pretty well covered. They converted that play and went on to kick a field goal in that play.
On day 10, as fans yawned through routine drills, he got it. 3rd and 17, field goal drill, pocket collapsing, Luke Florio blanketed in traffic. This was where rookies crumble, where Flacco or Pickett would have taken the safe check down. Sanders saw annihilation and carved through it. The ball wasn't thrown, it was teleported. A laser between converging defenders, hitting Florio in stride. The crowd's murmur became a roar. On the sidelines, Tony Grossi, Cleveland's most merciless reporter, stiffened. Grossi eviscerates hype. He buries false hope. Yet moments later, cameras caught him uttering 3 seismic words. Play of the day. Not for a rookie. Not nice effort. The best play. Period. When pressed, Grossi doubled down, threaded a needle. No fluke. For Sanders, validation with venom. I hear my dad's voice, he'd later admit. But I'm not here for pats on the back. I'm here to bury expectations.
No, of course, it's definitely something, in your mind. And I always think about I always hear my dad's voice in my mind, all the time, because it's always bone and blood. You know his motto and you know his slang with everything. So, of course, I was definitely hearing his voice in the back of my head. But at the end of the day, I want to be productive. I want to give you guys the best work, and I want to be at my best at all times,
But let's be raw. Cleveland's QB room is a gladiator pit. Flacco's cannily taking first-team snaps, 9/12 completions that day. Pickett's lurking despite a hamstring woe. Dylan Gabriel's flashing potential. And Sanders? Reps ration like gold. Yet after that throw, coaches edged him closer. Cue the backlash. Local radio erupted. They're cramming Sanders down our throats. One host ranted, he's not a good quarterback, forcing us to watch a 3rd-round pick who shouldn't start. The subtext, that last name, Sanders, the weight of being Dion's son. Shedeur knows it. I don't want him visiting camp, he confessed. Not till I've earned my way. No distractions.
I look at it at my own point of view. I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get to where I want to go then for him to see me. I don't want him to come and see me, get a couple reps and, he's cheering like a good dad. Like, nah, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get to where I'm going, and I know it's a lot I got to do to get there. So it's kind of like I just want everything that I'm doing to just focus on this time, and I don't want no distractions because we know out of media, we know how everybody would take it and take away from the team just from him being my own dad showing up. So,
translation, this isn't nepotism, it's a reckoning. Just as Sanders' star flickered to life, a grenade landed from Winnipeg. Justin Mayers, Sanders' 6 feet 4 inches, 320 pounds bodyguard at Colorado, signed with the CFL's Blue Bombers. On surface, a surrender. Dig deeper, a masterstroke. Mayers got NFL looks, Broncos minicamp, but faced stacked depth charts. Canada isn't exile, it's a launch pad. He'll play real snaps, build tape, dominate, and NFL scouts watch. Rewind to Colorado. Mayers wasn't just a lineman, he was Sanders' human shield. In 2023, he anchored an O-line that allowed just 2 sacks all season despite Sanders facing blitzes on 40% of dropbacks. His tape shows brutal pancake blocks and IQ reads that shut down elite Pac-12 rushers. Yet post-draft, silence. No combine invites, no primetime hype, just a tryout tag in Denver where he outlifted veterans but got lost in a numbers game. The NFL's brutal truth: undrafted linemen rarely get second chances unless they rewrite the rules. The CFL isn't minor leagues. It's a backdoor to the big show.
Not an NFL quarterback, not right now. And the fact they keep running him out there for first-team reps, and part of it I get because Kenny Pickett's banged up with a hamstring injury, so there's not a lot he can do. But this goes back. They have been putting him out there first with the 11-on-11 going back to the offseason program. They're cramming this guy down our throats, and it's not good.
Consider, rosters are thinner. Mayers won't ride benches. He'll start 18-plus games. Rules favor passing attacks. He'll protect QBs in wide-open schemes, proving he handles chaos. NFL scouts mine the CFL for talent. Just ask Cameron Wake, Dolphins, or Brandon Browner, Seahawks, who turned Canada into Pro Bowl careers. For Mayers, this is a calculated power play. While Brown's rookies fight for scout team scraps, he'll log 1,000 plus live reps against grown men fighting for paychecks. Every down is an audition tape. Every block screams, "You overlooked me." This isn't coincidence. It's cosmic synergy. Sanders sees Mayers betting on himself 1,500 miles away and internalizes the message: no handouts, only hustle. Their bond runs deeper than football. At Colorado, Mayers once played through a torn ligament to buy Sanders an extra second against Oregon. Now Sanders returns the favor by proving doubters wrong in Cleveland. 2 paths, 1 mentality: refuse to be erased. While Mayers mauls linemen up north, Sanders is sending a message: my story isn't borrowed, it's built. Training camp moments fade, unless they expose a truth. Sanders' throw proved he's got NFL-caliber ice veins. But the real unlock? Cleveland's fragility. Kenny Pickett's hamstring isn't just a tweak, it's a recurring ghost haunting his career. Dylan Gabriel's flashes of brilliance collide with stretches where passes sail into oblivion. And Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl aura can't hide the creaks of a 39-year-old arm in a league that devours quarterbacks whole.
It's not a height thing. It's not personal. I mean, he's rolling out, and he can't hit guys that are wide open. He is not all that great at times during the warm-up periods. He's pretty good during 7-on-7 when there's no offensive and defensive lines, but he's just not a good quarterback. And he's a third-round pick. And I talked extensively yesterday, as you mentioned, on my show with Nick Padone. The problem that I have right now is that the Browns are forcing me to look at a third-round pick who has no business being in contention to start a football game this year.
Suddenly, Sanders' camp body looks like Sanders' contender. The dominoes no one saw falling. Let's autopsy Cleveland's QB room. Flacco's expiration date. His September 12th completion day sounds solid until you see the film. Checkdowns. Safe outs. 0 throws beyond 20 yards. In a league where Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen redefine impossible weekly, Flacco's game manager ceiling screams temporary. Pickett's body betrayal. That hamstring? It's the same one that sidelined him for 4 games in Pittsburgh. History whispers, soft tissue injuries linger. And in Cleveland's brutal December wins, a ticking time bomb. Gabriel's growing pains. Yes, he's mobile, but his 58% completion rate in red zone drills this camp reveals crippling inconsistency. In the AFC North, where games hinge on one throw, unforgiving, Sanders' 7-9 efficiency isn't just stats, it's a flashing neon sign. He delivered when chaos reigned. Third, and 17 wasn't schemed open. It was taken, the currency of trust. Tony Grossi's endorsement matters because he's built a 30-year career eviscerating false hope. When he labels a play the best of the day, GMs notice. Teammates lean in. But deeper than praise? The vibe shift. Watch the tape. After Sanders' dart to Floria, defensive starters like Myles Garrett, who rarely celebrates practice reps, pounded his shoulder pads. That's respect earned in blood, not pedigree. The unspoken roster math. Cleveland's front office faces a brutal calculus. Keep 3 QBs? That steals a roster spot from a linebacker or receiver who could play special teams. Stash Sanders on the practice squad? Risk another team poaching him after that throw. Trade Flacco or Pickett. Cap hella waits if they eat dead money. Suddenly, Sanders isn't just a developmental project. He's the only QB without baggage or limitations. A paradox. The cheapest contract in the room might offer the highest upside. The AFC scouts whisper, "Kids got it." Question is, will Cleveland risk it? Translation: NFL lore is littered with teams who ignored the spark until it torched them elsewhere. Think Tom Brady, drafted 199th, or Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Sanders' it factor isn't just arm talent. It's the aura, the unblinking focus in the huddle, the way his body language never dips, even when buried on the depth chart. In a city starving for a winner since 1964, that's emotional kerosene. The Cleveland conundrum. This franchise made Deshaun Watson the NFL's highest-paid player while he faced suspension. They've bet on damaged goods before, but Sanders represents a different gamble, believing in the unseen over the proven. If they relegate him to QB3 after that throw, they risk fracturing the locker room. Promote him too fast, they invite media hell. Yet every snap Sanders takes whispers a truth. Safe choices rarely make history. The verdict. This isn't about one throw. It's about collapsing timelines. Pickett's leg, Flacco's age, Gabriel's growing pains. Sanders didn't just seize an opportunity, he exposed a vacuum. And vacuums demand filling. The depth chart won't hold if he keeps turning despair into art. Because in Cleveland, hope isn't just a feeling, it's a mercenary. And right now, it's wearing jersey number 2. This isn't just about snaps. It's about legacy. Sanders carries Deion's DNA and the curse of hype, a blessing that warps into a prison. Every misfire isn't just a bad throw. It's see? Told you he's just a famous name. Every sore muscle becomes proof he's too soft for the NFL. But that 3rd and 17 laser, it didn't just complete a pass. It screamed survival. And 1,500 miles north, Justin Mayer's CFL leap isn't retreat. It's a masterclass in rewriting the rules. While skeptics obsess over Sanders' arm fatigue, they're missing the revolution. 2 underdogs weaponizing doubt in real time. The Deion paradox. Imagine the weight. Your father isn't just a Hall of Famer. He's a cultural earthquake. A man who turned end zones into runways and picks into art. Your college career unfolded under 24/7 cameras at Colorado, where every practice felt like a reality show. Now in Cleveland, critics wait like vultures. He only got drafted because of his last name. Too Hollywood for the dog pound. Sheddeur's response. Not denial, not defiance. Atomic focus. His camp quotes reveal the armor. I don't want my dad visiting yet. I'll call him when I've earned it. Translation. This legacy won't be inherited. It'll be forged in silence. Mayer's invisible war. Now shift lenses to Justin Mayers. No famous father. No All-America hype. Just a 320-pound mauler who allowed 1 sack his entire senior year at Colorado. Outlifted Broncos veterans at minicamp. Got 0 draft calls. His crime? Being an interior lineman. The NFL's most disposable position. No highlight reels. No fantasy stats. Just trench warfare. So when Canada called, he didn't see exile. He saw freedom. Freedom from depth chart politics. Freedom to play angry. Freedom to turn every CFL snap into a middle finger to the 32 teams that ignored him. The blueprint beneath the surface. What Sanders and Mayers share isn't just Colorado roots. It's narrative jujitsu. They're exploiting the system's blind spots. Sanders uses the spotlight. Media obsession equals amplified impact when he delivers. That Grossi quote, worth more than any coach's praise. Mayers escapes the shadows. In Winnipeg, he's not just a guard. He's an import starter with NFL measurables. Scouts must watch. Their playbook? Flip weaknesses into weapons. Sanders turns nepotism accusations into fuel. Mayers uses obscurity as a proving ground. The psychological gauntlet. Let's talk about what this demands mentally. Sanders' minefield. One great throw invites more scrutiny. Do it again. Prove it wasn't luck. His next interception will spawn overrated hot takes. Survival means treating praise and slander as the same poison. Mayer's isolation. Winnipeg isn't Miami. Frozen fields. Smaller crowds. No ESPN cameras. His battle. Staying ferocious when nobody's watching. When the only reward is film for a future that isn't promised. Why this terrifies the establishment. The NFL machine loves predictable paths. First-round picks get years of chances. Undrafted guys get cut. Sanders and Mayers? They're crashing the system. Sanders' throw exposed a truth. Talent can't be buried forever. Not when Flacco's arm fades and Pickett's body betrays him. Mayers' move revealed a secret. There's always a back door. Cameron Wake did it. Kurt Warner bagged groceries. This isn't luck, it's leverage. The ripple in the locker room. Watch Cleveland's fringe players closely. That 3rd and 17 didn't just energize Sanders. It electrified every underdog fighting for a roster spot. The 5th-round linebacker, the undrafted receiver. They see Sanders defy the depth chart and think, why not me? And Mayers? He's now the patron saint of the practice squad, a living meme in group texts. When in doubt, pull a Mayers. The final layer, legacy redefined. Deion's legacy is diamonds and dollar signs. Shedeurs could be grit. Mayers, relentlessness. But this isn't about outshining the past. It's about creating a new language of success. One where your father's shadow becomes fuel, not an altar. Failure, like going undrafted, is just a detour. Every silent snap in Canada echoes as loud as a primetime throw. Sanders with a dime, Mayers with a passport, both screaming, "Your narrative is weak." And the NFL? It's never feared 2 words more. Why not? Great NFL stories don't start with confetti. They start in the grime. A no-name QB seizing 3.7 seconds against all odds. A lineman betting on himself 1,200 miles from the spotlight. What Sanders and Mayers share isn't just Colorado roots. It's contempt for ceilings. That throw wasn't an accident. It was a warning. As one Browns coach muttered off camera, "Kid's got that dog in him, and it's hungry." The question now, does Cleveland dare leash it, or will they let the underdog feast?